Clearly, in 2021, we saw an epidemic in our community. Everyone was talking about COVID, and yet we were on a record pace for homicides. And nobody was talking about it. Nobody seemed to care.
Well, the detectives came to my house, and they told me that my son was killed.
And the zip code thing was interesting. So what we did was we broke down where the homicides were happening in Shreveport by zip code. You know, you could draw a map very easily and show the boundaries of where most of these homicides were happening. They were happening in, 4 zip codes basically in town. We just started to track these by zip code and explain that, this one happened here, this one happened there, this is this zip code. And we did that so people could connect with it, they can identify with it. People could either say, oh, my community where I live is safer than I thought, or, oh, that's my zip code, that's disturbing to me. I need to call the police, I need to call my city council person, I need to call the mayor's office. This has to stop. We just wanted to get as many solutions as possible to why this is a problem in our community. And I think hearing from city leaders, from city council members, we got a pretty good description of why these things are happening, and maybe we got some solutions as well. So our deadliest zip code in Shreveport was 71109. And what we found when we compared it, just the homicide rate within that zip code in Shreveport was worse than any homicide rate in any city across America. So if that zip code itself were its own city, it would have the highest homicide rate per 100,000 in the entire nation, which is disturbing. But certainly it was disturbing to show that we have a violence problem, we have a homicide problem, and it doesn't seem to be getting better.
When it comes to television news, local news in particular, the number one reason that we are here in existence is not only to share information about what's going on in our community, but also to hold those that are in power accountable. Well, that's what happened with Deadliest zip codes. It's part of 3 Investigates. 86, 87, I don't remember the total number of homicides that Shreveport experienced this year. But it got to a point that every time you heard a homicide on the news, it was almost like elevator music. You tuned it out, you didn't want to hear it. And what we wanted to do here with Deadliest zip codes is to show the public where these crimes are happening. Now our hope is the second phase, now that we've identified where these zip codes are and where the crimes are happening, is those leaders that are providing oversight for those areas, that they be held accountable, and that we ask difficult questions as to how they are stopping this senseless crime that's taking place on a daily basis.